right, I'm gonna do the biggest no-no on the internet. I'm gonna do a vertical video. So today I've been working on a lot of the trim work. None of it is professional grade at all, and I'm fine with that. Up here you have those boards actually are covering some insulation. And I have a little corner piece there, kind of covers up a lot of the little issues. I installed a light up here, recess light. I actually replaced, if you saw some of my earlier pictures, I actually had a little plug up here. I just pulled that out and threw a recess light. And then I covered up the wire using this, like a little, it's a double board. There's some little nailer plates right here and then one up here. And using that, then I'm able to put another board on top. So there's actually a wire running behind here into the wall. And then the same thing really over here. There's a wire running all the way along here. So what I did was I put a nailer plate right here and one up there. And then I trimmed all this out so that way once I paint it, it won't look, you know, I'll either paint it or I'm gonna stain it. But basically what'll happen is it just looks kind of like, you know, a piece of normal wood there. Put another piece of trim up here to hide some more mistakes. And then I also built out the beginning of the bed frame. I'm not going to finish it out at all right now, and that's because what I'm going to be doing next is after I pull everything out of here, I'm going to wait until I paint everything, all that stuff, and then the flooring will happen. But there'll eventually be some slats that go across here, and that'll actually fit a twin size bed perfectly. It's twin size bed dimensions are 75 by something like 39, 38. This is 78 inches long as far as the amount of space from there to there, 78 inches long, and then it's 40 and 41, something like that. The other thing I did was I put the door in. So underneath this, just before I'll backtrack for just a second here, underneath this is actually going to be all storage. So that whole space underneath there will be storage. We'll probably put a little curtain right there, or sliding something or another. And when we have stuff in the very, very back, we'll actually have tags with strings on it that will pull the Tupperware, whatever we're going to use. We'll slide it up using the tags. The things in the very back won't get used much. Things in the front will get used more often. But it's a nice way to get some storage in there. And then the bigger thing I worked on was the door. So, you know, in a tiny house, you have limited amount of space. You can't really do, I mean, you could do a pocket door, but that's a lot of work. So what I did was I actually bought these bifold doors. That's what this is, the bifold door. And then I just took the hinges off. These are actually 15 inches each, so it's 15 inches, and the bifold package actually says 30 inches. It's 15, it's a 30-inch opening. But doing that, I'm able to get a 15, a 15, and a 15 piece of plywood. This will be cleaned up a bit. This was actually, I might not even use this one. I would just put it up here so I could actually have something in here to see what it looks like. But you can tell I drove the tiny house on top of that earlier. But there's a 15-inch piece of wood that will enable us to have some overlap here. So when I close this, I'm actually going to have, and right now this is, I haven't really done much with this just yet, but when this is all said and done, you have an entire, and just so you know, this will all be painted. That'll all be covered up with the bed, obviously. So then what you have is you have an actual door that in essence is much wider than what I have the ability to give it. So, you know, 15, this closes to 15, and then this closes to 15, and you end up with something like a 24, 25 inch opening there, which is plenty big enough. I'm a 6'3" dude who's overweight, and I can fit in there fine. So yeah, so that's what I'm working on today. Still have to do a lot of painting in there, but I'm actually going to hold off on the painting. The next big thing I'm working on over the next day and a half is actually going to be the stairs and the platform for the fridge right there. Stairs go right there. They'll lead up to right. I'm going to extend that out and create a platform, and then actually create a staircase or just some, not actually stairs, but a little ladder, a very shallow ladder, not shallow, deep, whatever. So yeah, that's what I've been working on today. The other thing I'm going to be working on tomorrow is finishing out some of this trim work here. You can see I have the wires behind that. So finishing that out, and then finishing trim around that. I'm not going to start on the door on the bathroom yet. The door will be very similar to this one, except that it won't actually be cut like this. By the way, if you need you can look up plenty of tutorials on how to cut a hollow door. It's extremely easy if you have the right tools. But cutting was pretty simple. I would suggest if you're going to cut a hollow door, you actually have a table saw to do that. It makes your life a lot easier. But I'm not going to do that just yet on this side, and that's because on this side I still have to get a lot of stuff in here, like a tub and just a bunch of other stuff. Plumbing has to be done. And then once all that's done inside there, once that whole thing is done, then I'll put on the door. Then the kitchen stuff will go in. But for now, I'll be working on the stairs, and then after that, I'll probably start working on the actual tub itself, framing it out and all that. So yeah, that's it. 1,000 ohms, and this is what I have.